Hello, hello. Hi, John.
Hey, Heather. Morning.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Joanna. How are you?
Good, thank you. Long time no see. Sorry, I couldn't open the camera. Doing something else. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Thank
Monica,
you.
Zazen, Michelle. Hello, hello.
Hi.
How's it going? Oh, I can see Zazen's camera's going on.
Yeah, I did. I'm blocked out.
Oh, yes, you're, you're not there.
I'm here.
Okay.
I just don't have a camera.
Okay. No worries. Monica, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
terrific. I'm trying to work out how to put the camera on.
No problem.
Okay. Sometimes it comes on automatically. Other times, like right now, it's not coming on.
Okay, no worries. Okay, well, if you can do it, it's always nicer to see your face. Hi, Sandy. How's it going? Thanks.
Oh,
for
how's it going?
Hi Heather. Hi everyone. I'm gonna have to keep my camera off. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Thanks for coming. I know you said you might not be able to come, so thanks for joining us.
I got that little bit of burst of energy, so I came.
Oh, awesome.
But I'll be here. I'll be here. I'm just I got the kids and I'm on my own tonight, so I need to put my stuff, my video off.
That's okay. Hi, Yenny.
Hi, Heather.
How's it going? Oh, there you go. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy can be here with you.
Definitely, definitely. So thanks everyone for joining us. I'll wait a couple more minutes to see if anyone else is joining us. Is everyone good?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. I see Zazen, you've got your camera on. Fantastic.
Sorry, hi Heather.
Hi Michelle, you all right?
I'm just in transit, so I was waiting for it to start, and then I guess you are asking me to give permission to record, and I didn't see it because I'm walking.
No worries.
Okay, I just seem to have lost my car.
Oh no.
Sorry about this, that I'm not focused, but I was hoping to be at my mum's by now.
That's okay, no worries.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's just a bit further down the road. Have you got more registrants?
Yes, I do, yes. So
Okay.
we'll wait a couple more minutes, but then we'll start at 5 past. I don't want to hold you back too much.
Fair enough. I should be in my car by then.
Cool. How are you feeling, John? Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, much better, Heather. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. It's a horrible COVID again.
Yeah, a few weeks, yeah.
I'm gonna get some fuel so you
Thank you. My puppy's the bit. I don't know why this.
Okay, fine. Well, I think I'm going to start. So thank you everyone for coming. I'm sure people might jump in a bit later, but that's fine. Do have a pen and paper handy because I'll be getting you to do some exercises and things. So do have that.
Exercises. I hate exercises.
not physical ones, just writing down one. And this will be a safe space to share. If we all agree not to speak about what we cover today, then do share anything in the comments. That will make it much more useful for you and helpful for all of us. And obviously this is about making money wanting you, but it's also about doing some work. It's not about just sitting back and just waiting for it to come in. So just to be aware there will be some work involved. I can't cure everyone's money problems in an hour, so that's just also bear in mind as well. But we are going to be covering some deep concepts, so be open to that, and I hope you'll get lots of value. And I'll also invite you at the end to listen to about my program, which is called Because It's More of the Same of This. But so I'm just going to share my screen. I just wanted to ask you, what would life be like if you actually turned the tables and money actually wanted you? So what if it was wanting to jump into your pockets and your bank accounts? Wouldn't that be amazing, not to have to do all the work, fighting and striving, and actually have money wanting you instead? So just want to give a small disclaimer right at the beginning. I can only give factual information. So none of what I say here is investment advice. I can only give educational information. So if you want to have investment advice, please do speak to a regulated, accredited advisor. Now, money, we all know that money makes the world go round. This is the society that we live in. And, everyone is hankering over money, no matter who they are. Even Elon Musk, even he wants more money. Like, there are very few people in the world that do not want more money. But not everyone has more money. Not everyone has it. Even whole communities are doing without. And now we've had COVID, which has made matters worse. We've got inflation, so the bills are going up. But we are so reliant on society. But the question is, why is it that some people seem to be money magnets? Some people seem to be shielded from the pain of money and trying to get hold of it. And some people seem to thrive in uncertain times and difficult times. So what is it about these people? But on the other hand, some people seem to really struggle on a daily basis. So why is it that in some cases, some people's bank accounts never seem to go up no matter what? It's almost like sand is slipping through one's fingers. And some even go as far as to sabotage their own efforts and stand in their own way. So what's going on there? What's the difference between these two groups? How are they operating so differently to each other? Now, I've often wondered, does life have to be hard? People struggling every day to make ends meet. Is it really meant to be so difficult in life? Because I truly believe that life should be about joy and having a good time and learning and developing and being free and free to do the things that you want to do and to learn the things that you want to do without the encumbrance of having to make a daily crust every single day. So is it really possible to actually turn things around and make money actually want you? How can you be so irresistible to money that it can't help being attracted to you? This could end up, this could end up literally ending years of slog and struggle and literally turning the tables. So I believe the difference between these two types of people is down to beliefs. Beliefs about yourself and beliefs about money. And I think by dealing with these two beliefs, we can get into that flow state where life is more joyous and we have just a richer experience of life. So just a quick couple of seconds about me. So I have invested since I was a little girl. I was very fortunate that my dad was very forward thinking, and he shared with me about investing. And, you know, he just had that sort of mindset, you know, even in the 70s, he was programming computers and stuff. He just had that sort of mindset, just thinking outside the box. And I also kind of benefited from a frugal mother. I had sort of two very interesting influences about money living under my roof. But I also noticed that my friends weren't doing it, not that we talked about it because it was a taboo subject. And so I kind of grew up with the knowledge about investing, and it kind of was always there. It was always there in my life, in the background, and I was always doing it. But I think also there was a time in my 20s that I really self-sabotaged myself. You know, there were times, you know, I've lost count of the number of times that I stood in my own way, that I didn't take opportunities. Like I was offered 2 jobs in the same company and I took the lower one. You know, I was so many opportunities I didn't take. I had a very, very low self-esteem. I found it really hard to do presentations, which also got in my own way in terms of career progression. So lots and lots of things that I did that was standing in my own way. But then I got completely obsessed with self-development, and I just threw myself into everything, just learning about myself and understanding myself. So I've really turned things around in terms of my own self-worth and self-confidence. And also then when I had my son, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. I wanted to be around him. So I had to up the ante. I had to learn what to do to be able to be self-sufficient, to be able to support myself. And so that's when I really got into tech. And that's when my investments really rocket powered. And I just did loads and loads of great things during that time. And so my own investments have gone up on average about 20% per annum over the last 5 years. So just learning and building on that knowledge is what kind of brings me here today. And I really, you know, why I'm doing this is that I really want to pay it forward, because, you know, my dad shared it with me, but not everyone had that advantage. So I really want to share the joy, but also the well-being. You know, our company is actually a well-being company because it's all about financial well-being in the context of overall well-being. So I think that's also important to bear in mind. So first question that I'd like to ask you, and maybe have a show of hands, but, you know, do you find that your bank account has a roof over your head that it never ever goes over? Is there like a ceiling that, you know, no matter what, it just sticks to that and then it just bounces off and it never ever goes higher than that? Does anyone agree with that statement? Show of hands. Yeah, absolutely. And the other question I wanted to ask you was, have you ever stood in your own way? Have you ever self-sabotaged and had an opportunity that you thought was really good, but for some reason you didn't do it, or you did something which, you know, was really like detrimental to yourself? Have you ever had that experience where you've sort of stood in your own way or self-sabotaged?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've all done that. And I think that, you know, again, these two things, I think these are both examples of where we are self-sabotaging. You know, if we have, you know, why is it that we have a roof on our bank accounts? You know, is there something inside us that's stopping us from going further and pushing the boundaries away? Now, so I've got a question I'd like to ask, and well, it's a set of questions actually, and I'd love you to get your notebooks or something to write it down, because I'll be asking a few questions. Okay. So the first question I'd like you to consider is, can you write down an issue around money that's holding you back right now? That's something that you think is an issue about your finances. So maybe, you know, for example, you might find it hard to save at the end of the month, actually have any money over at the end of every month. So what is it that you're dealing with right now in your own world? So if you could write that down. Does everyone have something in mind? Okay, so when you think about that thing, so for example, finding it hard to save, what are your, if you have a think about it, what are your honest and rational thoughts about that topic? So for example, if you find it hard to save money, then you might be thinking, well, I'm not very good at money. So what would your assessment of that be about that thing? Okay. And what would you say your feelings were about that situation? So in this situation, I might say, well, I feel really sad because I don't feel I'm living up to my potential. I don't think I'm able to live the wealthy life that I want to live. So what would your assessment be on that particular issue? Okay, and then, so thinking about all that you've written so far, what would you say that says about you? So how would you define yourself in relation to all of this? So example, if I find it hard to save, well, maybe I don't feel good enough to have more than the bare minimum, something like that. So what would your assessment be about that? So if you've got anything written down or any thoughts, that would be great to put that in the chat, just to get some thoughts going. Omari, I'm not worthy of abundance. Absolutely. Any other thoughts in the chat? I have to settle. Yes, Andy. I can make do. So just doing the minimum you can get by, but not the ideal. Cool. So here's a thing. We only manifest in our lives what we truly believe we are worthy of. So if our subconscious minds only thinks that we deserve, say, minimum wage, then that's what we'll manifest for ourselves. And I guess, we're not taught to think big at school. School is not about you know, learning how to be self-sufficient and how to invest and to be an entrepreneur and all of the things that might equal a wealthy life. You know, we are geared to be workers. That's the kind of thing that our education system, which makes me so cross, you know, it's one of my things that I'd like to sort of make better. But the thing is, we need to really repair ourselves and our deep perceptions of who we are and what we're worthy of in order to accept a wealthier existence. And, you know, if, for example, you know, imagine a child in a supermarket, and the dad's really busy and he's trying to get what he wants to get, but the child is asking and asking and asking for a toy, but the dad's really stressed out, he can't be bothered, you know, he doesn't really think much about it, so he just says, oh, you're not good enough for this toy. You know, that could lead to a whole lifelong feeling of unworthiness that the boy grows up with, you know, even as much as Santa, who evaluates whether we're naughty or good, you know, all of these things are building up our perceptions of ourselves. So, you know, this is very, very important that we actually get to the bottom of, because if we can't get, you know, if we can't do this, then this is something that's going to be really sabotaging our efforts moving forwards. Now, the other thing is that we also have a relationship with money itself. And, you know, this relationship is also so key to how we actually perform, because if we believe things about money, which everybody does, you know, when we are growing up, we grow a perception of money up in our first 7 years of life. We are just learning about life and how things operate. And money is just something that we obviously grow to understand is really important. So we're growing and understanding what our perceptions are by our parents and our loved ones and how they are about money. So it all depends on how it is in your household. So just thinking about that and grabbing your notepads again, you know, what is it that you believe about money? You know, is money something that you can trust? Do you believe that it's on your side? Do you think it's waving your flag and wanting you to succeed? Or actually, do you believe that actually it's secretly trying to catch you out and is actually waiting for you to fail? Maybe you think it's shady or bad, something bad about it. Or even that you feel it's disapproving of you. So does any of that resonate with you in terms of what you think money is and how you relate to money? All of the above. Yeah. Any other thoughts on money? Now, if we don't trust money, if we don't believe money is good and for us, then we're going to be having a perception of mistrust. And of course, if we don't trust money, I like the idea that money likes me. It doesn't like me yet, Sandy. Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing, isn't it? That's the trick, is that we want money to start to like us. If money likes us and is attracted to us, then all of the blocks go away. But if we truly believe that money is bad, on some level, it might not be a conscious level, it might be something that's going underneath. But if we truly believe that money is bad, then of course we don't want anything to do with it. Of course we're going to push it away. You know, it could be that, you know, money was behind a breakup of your parents, for example. You know, it could be that, you know, your dad had a boss who was just always, you know, doing him in and just not being kind to him. So again, that will have a perception of what money is, and maybe you just want nothing to do with that. There were just so many illustrations of how you might perceive money and how it becomes part of how you live your life. So we might subconsciously push money away. So we glean our stories about money all our childhood, particularly up to the age of 7. And if we, you know, all of those stories we were told, all the examples we had, all our families, if you know, I had an uncle who he had an amazing, he started from poverty and he ended up being an accountant. He was, you know, really smart, and he ended up being an accountant. And you know, he was in central London. He's one of his clients was Rod Stewart. He had, you know, celebrity clients, and everything was amazing. But unfortunately, his dad was a gambler, and he ended up gambling as well, and he ended up losing everything. You know, so this is the story that I grew up with. But interestingly, you know, his money story was that his father was a gambler, and so that he never really got out of that, and so he adopted the same patterns. But in some ways, for me, he was an inspiration because I could see what was possible with my own uncle. So yes, you might, you know, if you think that billionaires, you know, are using people for their own end, or, you know, I learned, I studied Chaucer, and one of the statements was radix malorum est cupiditas, which means the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, so if you, again, if you believe this, then it's going to sabotage your efforts. You know, and also another thought, that if, you know, in a romantic relationship, if a person is very needy, it can sometimes be a turn off. So again, if you're vibrating on a very needy level, then maybe it can be sort of detrimental and is actually pushing money away rather than the other way around. So, and, you know, I used to think that money was really hard work, you know, and so I was, at one stage, I was thinking that I might like to be an artist. But when I was doing my art, it never felt like hard work. It never felt like work. And so it never worked because I just didn't feel like I was supposed to be doing it. It didn't feel meaty enough for me to do it. You know, and I had another client who, she believed that if she didn't spend her money, then it would somehow disappear. So I don't know where she got that from. Possibly that her parents might have raided her piggy bank, but she had this really frustrating belief, which was absolutely detrimental to her wealth creation, because obviously she had to just spend everything. So so luckily we were able to solve that one, because that was really quite distressing. So there are two key things in terms of our beliefs about ourselves and our beliefs about money. But also there's this thing about vibration, and I was really pondering on this recently, and it's interesting because, you know, we literally do vibrate. You know, you hear this thing, oh, raise your vibration, and you know, it sounds very kind of conceptual and woo-woo, but actually we physically do vibrate. You know, it is actually something we do. Our bodies have so much metal in it, you wouldn't believe. Our bones are made of calcium, which is a metal. We have iron in our blood. We have copper. We have cobalt. We have potassium and nickel. And three of those, nickel, iron and cobalt, are all magnetic. So we are literally electrical beings. And it's interesting, we're like giant receivers. And when you think about the words that we use, the word receiver, isn't that interesting? What are we receiving? We're receiving the things that are on the same vibration, the same frequency as we're on. So for example, if you bang a tuning fork, if a same tuning fork of the same pitch is in the room, it will start to vibrate alongside with it. Or if you all these opera singers that make a glass smash. I went to the Royal Institution in London, the science, where they do loads of science, and I went to the most amazing presentation where this guy, he had all these chemicals in front of him, and one of them, he was in front of this great big vial of this clear liquid, and he played the violin, and it was this beautiful violin playing. And when he got to B flat, the water changed to black instantly. It was the most incredible thing. Everything is vibration and everything is energy. And so all of these words that we use, so we have the word attractive. Attractive, what are we attracting? Again, we're attracting things that are like the vibration that we're giving out. You know, when we tune into something, when we resonate with something, and even being powerful, you know, power, the power that we're in, we are giant, almost like giant batteries. We are just full of power. And it's all about our energy and our vibration and our frequency. The clue is in the words. And I'm getting more and more into biohacking and how to increase our energy and increase ourselves, and to tune ourselves into the abundance and health and joy. And one of the ways to do that is to meditate. You know, it's as simple as that. That one really good hack is just to meditate, because the more you can tune in and get into a higher state of being, the more you can be attractive to the things that you desire. Now, another thing is, you know, talking about the economy, and the economy is a concept. You know, it's an average. It's an average of all the companies that are out there. You know, we talk about, oh dear, we're going to be in a recession, and it's almost designed to frighten us. But, you know, but the truth is, the recession is just an average. And it's, you know, this is all individual businesses, it's all individuals. And so some might be doing badly, but others are doing really well, and they can, you know, thrive in that environment. And almost the trick is to find the ones that are doing well, you know. And in fact, you know, during the Great Depression, more millionaires were made during that time than at any other time. So again, it's a perception, and you're not at the mercy. Sometimes you can just be at the mercy of whatever the media wants to tell you. Oh, it's a recession. Oh gosh, you know, and if everyone sort of panics. But it's about empowering yourself and realizing that if you have the tools at your disposal, then you can actually do something about it. Then you can actually, you know, it doesn't really matter what the economy is doing, whether it's in a recession or a depression. That is irrelevant to what you're doing if you know what you're doing. So just to sum up the main points, is that there are 3 things to tackle: our opinion of our own worthiness, feelings about money and our relationship with it, and also raising our vibration. And these 3 things are key to building a foundation for which we can then do the next steps. It's almost like, you know, I was originally going to just teach people how to invest, but I quickly realized that until we've healed all of this work, all of this stuff that we've built up generationally, it's not just, you know, out in our lifetimes, it's all of our ancestry as well that's coming into us. And so until we can tackle that, we can't then go on to actually build a wealthy life and learn how to do all the kind of practical things, like, you know, learn how to save and learn how to invest, because we have to get our own self out of the way, really. And so, you know, once we stop self-sabotaging, then we can be congruous. We can all be working together. All our cells can be firing together. And it's not about berating ourselves. It's about moving forward powerfully. And so the next point on from this is that you just don't need to rely on your job or your business to make money. There are so many other ways. And, you know, the empowering thing to do is to have, you know, lots of different streams of income. And this is where we can become more empowered. So this is a kind of a schematic. So we can see on the left, we've got all the ways that income can come in, whether it's from earnings or savings or investments or windfalls. And then you've got your outgoings. And then we've got money going into savings. But if we can take some of that income, and rather than just spending it, to turn it into assets which then pays you, and then you can get more income from it, which you can buy more assets from, and so on. Then you become a virtuous circle. Then it becomes self-fulfilling and self-perpetuating. And that's one of the keys to a wealthy life, is to always be having assets which are paying you. And so, you know, if you can imagine, so that's the kind of idea. But then if you imagine if you had a series of money taps that are all paying you in the background, then it doesn't matter if what you do with your day job. You know, ultimately the goal is to have all of these outside money taps paying you whether or not you work. And in fact, if you can get them to pay for all your expenses, that's when you live on the fast track. That's when you don't have to, you know, that's when you can work for joy and not for necessity. That's when life gets really fun and joyous, because it's not about the grind. It's not about every day trying to hustle and find out how to make money. That's when you can actually start to enjoy life fully. So if I may, I'll just take you through my program, which actually starts in a couple of weeks' time. It's a 7-week program, and it's called the Foundations of Financial Freedom. And it's an amazing program. It really does change lives. And we start with money mindset. So we really, you know, go back to what we talked about earlier and find out your relationship with yourself, your relationship with money, and really get to the bottom of what it is, why it is you're acting the way you do around money. So we all look at your money story, and we find out what the traumas are, and we heal them. And then we build a new set of stories around money, a new relationship with money, where, you know, it's actually empowering rather than against us. And then we look at spend and learning how to spend for success and spend joyously, and have it that we know we're not necessarily spending everything, but we can actually take some of that spend and invest it, as we talked about. We look at your numbers. Data is clarity. Once you understand what's going on with your numbers, so many people, you know, even really great, some of my clients are really successful entrepreneurs, but so many of them did not have a spreadsheet that really understood what their income was, what their outgoings were. They really didn't know where they were. So, you know, once you have it all done in one, you know, my background is data analytics. So it's so empowering. Once you have everything done on one sheet, you can really understand what to do next. It becomes a strategic tool. You can really understand the next steps, the next step, and the next step. Even if it's not a great picture, it still is really, really, really useful to be able to have. So then we get even more practical, because we look at investings and we understand how investments work, what the options are, and building a portfolio of assets that actually pays you. So we go really deep dive into that and understanding how that all works. And then we actually get started with investing, and we look at what the types of investments are, how to choose. There's loads of tools out there for free that you can use to analyze the markets, to be able to understand what is good thing to invest in right now, what's going up, following the trends, and becoming very practical, because we actually go and get our own account, and then we do some live trades. And so it gets very, very specific, very, very practical, to be able to get rid of all the blocks and not, you know, there's no reason why you can't just go out and do that and build a wealthy life. So there's a bunch of stuff that we learn, a whole load of different things we learn in terms of your money story, getting rid of traumas, and so on and so forth, and really developing an investor mindset. You know, what is it, what do investors do differently? What's this way to think that is slightly different to the average person? You know, how do you get your antennas up to be able to identify a good investment to have? So we learn about that as well, and how to choose the best investments and monitoring your success. So it's a really complete end-to-end program, all about financial literacy and building a wealthy life. And in terms of the investment, well, normally it's $12.80, but at the moment we have a early bird at the moment, which is $8.80. And the people on this call can get an extra $50 off as well. So it's only available to the end of April. That would be $8.30 overall. So the next start date is on the 10th of May. So that's in about 2 weeks' time. So that's at 6 p.m. Sydney time, 9 a.m. UK time. And it's going to be life-changing for sure. And it's just the more of what we've just done today, but much more deep dive. And also I have a money back guarantee. So, I want everyone to be able to do it. And, literally you can take the entire program. And, if you don't think it's valuable, if you do all the exercise, you don't think it's valuable, then you get a whole 100% guarantee. And luckily no one's ever taken it up just yet, but it's there just to really safeguard everyone. So do schedule a free meeting if you want to find out more, and I'd love to chat with you about it. And yeah, just to as I said, Raw Energy is a well-being company, just to kind of put it into context. So it's all about holistic well-being, and money just being one pillar of well-being. And it's all about being well in regards to money. And we look at, finances from a very, again, a holistic model. The Sleep Easy models, there's a spiritual, getting rid of limitations, emotional, energetic, psychological, earning, saving, spending, investing. We look at everything together to be able to amplify your efforts. So that is everything that I wanted to cover today. I just wanted to just throw it open to you, just to ask you what your takeouts were from any of this, what your key takeouts were from this session.
I'll go, Heather.
Yes.
Sandy, can you see me?
Yes. Oh, there you go. There you are.
I'm a bit red, aren't I? That's, yeah, gluten. That's what gluten does to me. Makes me go red. Yeah, I really like the idea of you said, does money like you? And then I just pictured like money being my friend and like waving. And I really like that idea, like what a different perspective, like, we can like money, but does it like you? And I really thought that actually for me gave me a different view, which I didn't have before. So thank you for that. And I'd really be interested to learn about the vibration side of money. Does that get covered in your course?
Yes, yeah, quite extensively actually. Yeah, we look at all the different vibrations, and yeah, there's a whole piece around energetics and harnessing the universal energies to get on your side. So we cover quantum physics, and there's lots of sort of ancient practices that we bring in as well. So yeah, it's very much covered.
Wow, yeah, it sounds amazing, Heather. I'll book in a call with you. So yeah, I missed the link. So are you able to put that back up, please?
Yeah, definitely. And I can put it in the chat as well.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm curious, is it Zazen? Zazen. Hello, Zazen. I'm curious about what you're waving around. Is that you've got something there? I just spotted you.
I'm using my sonic slider while I've been listening, Sandy.
Oh. What does that do?
It's a tuning fork that you slide on your body. Makes you feel very zippy. Good to put on the thymus and up your arms, your legs, your tummy, your head, and you feel pretty good after.
Wow.
See, that's a complete demonstration of exactly what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Yeah.
On the face.
Instruments. We are instruments, we are
Yes.
vibrational, you can cure illness. I'm really into biohacking, and we can really cure illnesses, like every organ has a different resonance. So if you can find the right resonant frequency, you can actually cure and heal any kind of disease. It's really, really interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, Zazen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Zazen.
And you reminded me that money loves me. And also, I was reminded, or I got an insight, that because there's spells put on money, it's good to unspell money. Just like there's spells in pharmaceutical products, etc. There would definitely be some kind of spells on money, especially cash for some places, as we know. So anyway, that's just a thought that reminds me to do some work around that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I guess the spell will have its own resonance, right? So it's all part and parcel. So yeah, that's really
Good to just zing it all away.
yeah.
Thank you, Heather.
No problem. Has anyone else
Thanks,
got any
Heather.
thoughts or observations or insights or aha moments?
And this is the only time I've ever had the tape off over my camera.
Well, I'm very honoured, Zazen, really.
Good.
It was meant to be,
Um,
because otherwise I wouldn't have seen your sonic slider and
Oh,
not have
yeah.
what it is.
Totally,
Go to
totally.
biofieldtuning.com.
I will. Biofield tuning. Ah,
Even
Thank you.
Lauren, who's on the call, she has one too.
Thank you,
Oh,
Zazen,
yeah, thank you.
My
because
pleasure. Thank you, Heather.
I've heard about spells and things. Yeah. It's
Well, especially when they're trying to take away cash, and you know, people have different thoughts about that. And just, you know, there's a society picture of reality that it's this or that. So we can even put our own spells on money, just like Heather was saying. I just used the spell word, but Heather, you were speaking of the same thing, really. Just good to unblack magic it all.
That's it. And just realizing that we are more powerful than we think. You know, we're sort of very much quashed down. You know, we're just being told that we're, you know, powerless, and, you know, we have to just take whatever the government tells us, and we just, you know, we're just kind of, you know, nothing. We're just vacuums. Whereas actually we're very powerful, and, you know, it's just the tip of the iceberg, really.
Absolutely. It's time to fly.
Totally.
Time for a bit of
This is the time, you know, we're so lucky to live in this time where things are just rapidly advancing, and, you know, we are able to do these things. It's like, it's quite amazing to be in this, to witness all of this. It's amazing. We're all kind of all up leveling very quickly, so it's cool.
And also, one's reminded that you only worry about money if it's running down. Like if it's the same or doesn't go up a lot, you're just sort of cruising through the weeks, but it doesn't always have a lot of movement, whether you're working or not, you know.
Yeah, well, it's a form of energy, isn't it? So I guess movement, you know, is kind of healthy because it just keeps everything going. But obviously,
yes,
coming back,
it's good to spend.
It goes out. That's the sort of the good equation, is that it goes out, but then it comes back double.
Yes. Or
I
triple.
wish.
Well, that's a start. So you're wishing, you're putting it out there into the universe. Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm really, really pleased that you could make it. And yeah, do get in contact if you have any questions. I'd love to chat to you about any of this. It's one of my passions, as you can tell. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. And I would like to schedule a call with you. Just, you know, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'd
That's
love to.
it, Monica.
Yeah, I can see.
So, because yeah, everything is very interesting. And if I could switch something, if you can do that for me, that would be really interesting.
Totally. Well, we definitely work together. I would love to be able to help you and put you in the right direction for sure. It's a joyous process.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank you,
for your
Heather and
time
ladies.
this evening,
Sorry.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
and for giving us this, Zoom tonight.
Thanks, Monica. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Heather. That was awesome. Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Definitely.
All the best, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.